Rockets. Hello and welcome into episode 75 of Two Man Game with Damon and Dom. I'm Damon, that's Dom, and you are the listener. It is Sunday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. As we record this podcast before game one of Pacers Cavs later this afternoon and game seven of Rockets Warriors. So a couple games that we're going to miss out on, but we wanted to get you our round two predictions, round one recap, all in a timely manner. So this seemed like the best day to do it. Episode 75, three quarters, the amount of white I am. Big episode here for us. Two-man game.
We've been waiting for this one for a while. We finally made it.
Sneaking up on us. Yeah, three-fourths of the way to 100, so that's kind of cool. Dom, how are you doing today, man? How are we?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm a little saddened by, less basketball now
Sure.
because when the playoffs first start, there's one every day. Now I know it's really going to start like every other day, and it's going to be less.
Hmm.
But I'm doing well. I'm enjoying LA. I saw some friends. I played with a friend Friday. Shout out Tori Leppert. She had a great show, and I played some guitar for her. So that was a lot
Yeah.
of fun. Got to hang out with my
Whatever
friends. She's a great musician and friend. So
Does
that's
she
who
listen
that
to the pod?
is. She's gonna now. I'm like, I shouted you out. You
She
better listen to
better.
this episode.
She better.
No, but I've been good, and yeah, no, I am just super excited for this next round, and I'm super excited for Game 7 today. I'm like
Oh yeah.
doing everything I can before the game, so then I can just watch the game without thinking about just watching Rockets Warriors.
Yeah, we should
Uh,
mention I have the Russell Westbrook Skyline shirt. I thought it was, game seven today for the Rockets. Westbrook Rocket shirt, Westbrook
had a
uh
great
for
Game
the
7.
Nuggets. Yeah,
Yeah,
so I thought it was the perfect shirt. You have the green San Diego Rocket shirt. Love that shirt. So both coming out
absolutely,
in support today. Jared has
absolutely.
even texted me and said, carry on for us, as he knows that both the Lakers and Pistons are eliminated. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It was so funny. That text you said like you and Jared are both out, and I was like, "What does that mean?" And you said my team's the only one remaining. I was like, "Oh, okay, I get it, I get it, I get it." I was like, "What do you mean by we're out?"
You're out.
So
You're out of my
we're
friend
out of
group.
here. Yeah. So
You're
I
banished.
hope, yeah, I hope the Rockets get a win today. But how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. I told you earlier via text, my neck today. I woke up and I feel like it's the worst neck pain I've ever experienced. Every time I've been turning my neck, I move my whole body like an animatronic. Like I
Or
can't
like Batman
turn.
Begins, where he like his suit can't literally he has to move his entire body in Batman. Yeah.
So there's that. The sprained ankle. I think we're past the sprained ankle, so that's good. The other day at work though, I was getting like some lower back like weirdness. Like when you bend over, it's like I don't know.
Oh yeah, yeah, like a little ache or
Yeah, I don't know what's
something.
going on there. I think that's pretty much gone too. I'm
Okay.
old. I'm learning. That's what I've discovered. Um, but aside from that, I can't complain too much. I also slept for like 16 hours yesterday, which was crazy, and I'm still tired. So
I mean, usually if you sleep too much, you're tired too. But I mean, your body probably just needed it, and now you're gonna offset a little bit, you
we'll
know?
see. We'll see.
Yeah, well, thank you for doing this on the early side. I know I did. I just wanted to make sure we were able to talk about round two before, the Rockets game and everything, so we
Oh
didn't have
yeah,
to
of
do it
course.
during. That would have been the worst.
I've just been like this the whole time,
I
just looking
know,
over
like
here, like, huh?
Dom, read the notes. Okay, sick though. But before we get into some of the, updates of round one, we got some news just to go over real quick.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes, as
I've been
always,
forgetting to say that, but whatever.
I usually say at the end, and I'm like, if you
Yeah,
listen for an hour and a
yeah.
half,
If you got to the end.
you better do that.
You gotta tell them at the beginning, so when we talk about random news or start going off the off the rails, then they
Yeah,
check out. They don't get to the end. So
that's true. I know. We got to just throw it in there every now and then. Um, but on to the news. So, Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki will be part of Amazon Prime's NBA coverage starting next season. So, I know that, TNT will not be hosting the
yeah.
NBA anymore at the end of an era. So we are going to be getting it on Amazon Prime and on NBC. So the NBA is going back to NBC
Hmm.
with that, awesome theme song. Da 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 da
Yeah. Did you see
da
that
da da
commercial?
da da. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I
where
saw
like
it.
everyone's like singing it or whatever.
Yeah, it was
All that,
very
and I was like,
funny.
okay. I mean, like, yes, but did you need to advertise it? Like, people are gonna watch the NBA regardless.
True, but now I think it's like the older generation will be like, "Oh, I remember watching that when I was younger," like
I do
that's
remember that song.
or
That's I didn't even
it's
realize it
like
was NBC related. You know.
me either. And I've only gotten it over the last ever since they signed NBC signed that they were going to be doing it again.
Hmm.
I've noticed that there's a lot more of this song and it's attached to it, but I didn't realize that before for sure. But I'm
Range.
excited to see what it looks like.
Oh yeah. Other news. Shaquille O'Neal uh, has agreed to become the men's basketball general manager for Sacramento State University. Apparently, this is a voluntary job. I don't know what that means. Like, I guess he doesn't get paid for it. He's just there, kind of hanging out. He's like, all right, I guess I'll be the GM. His son Shakir O'Neal plays for Sacramento State, and we previously talked about Mike Bibby being the head coach for Sacramento State. So kind of a random school gaining some recognition for some old NBA players becoming a part of it. I've watched Shaq, inside the NBA coverage. I swear, his basketball knowledge is low. So I'm not certain about that decision, but I'm no I mean it's it's the name, I guess you have the name there.
Yeah, I think it's
And
a name, and it's his son's there, and it's also a voluntary role. What is he going to be doing? I mean,
I
as a
don't know.
GM for a college basketball
Yeah, it's
team, it's
like you can
like,
trade. You can
yeah,
do stuff
who
like that.
knows?
So,
But I mean, congrats to him, and he'll be closer to his son. So that's what more can you ask for? The Phoenix Suns are promoting Vice President Brian Gregory to general manager and head of basketball operations. So James Jones has been the GM since 2019, and now he's becoming a senior advisor.
mhm,
Seems like
mhm.
there's going to be a lot of movement in the Suns organization because of not making the playoffs this year. I mean, is Kevin Durant still going to be there? Is
No.
Devin Booker on the trade block? I mean, there's just a lot of things to consider. So this is not surprising that they're
Yeah.
like, hey, let's just promote somebody, bring in somebody. So
Yeah, I mean, James Jones didn't do a bad job. Got him in the finals 2 years after being a GM. But then I think the Kevin Durant trade was okay, probably. But then, like, the Bradley Bill, he just did a little too much. He just went a little too all in.
but then that was also the owner. Like it wasn't.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't think it was. It
Matt
was probably
Ishbia,
yeah. It was a lot of the owner. Like I want it to be big, and he's like, let me do what I can for you, but. I'm assuming it was like, okay, I'll do this, but just don't be mad at me if like this happens. But who knows exactly like where the blame is, but they needed it to rework everything anyway, so I think this is a good move.
yeah. No, we didn't really talk about it. Steve Nash, Dirk, on coverage, yay or nay? Have
Oh,
any?
I mean, I've only really seen Dirk Nowitzki kind of speak in a public role as, an analyst, and I think he's good.
Okay,
I don't remember a lot. I think he was good. I didn't think he was great, but I was like, I guess there's some insight there. Steve Nash, I have no clue.
he was a
I
coach, and
Yeah,
he's
I
been the
love Steve
assistant coach,
Nash.
so I think he'll be good at it.
Yeah, I think they'll both be good. I mean, they're both. I mean, we grew up watching them. I love them as
Mavericks
players.
legends.
Um, yeah, it's true. So I'm open to it. What about you? Do you have a preference?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, these are two players that are better than some other older tired guys I can think of that do
Yeah,
NBA coverage. Perkins is one that
yeah,
comes to mind. I'm like,
Perf.
I could live without the Kendrick Perkins analysis. Um,
Yeah, he was the
so,
heart and soul of that Thunder team. Never forget. He was no, he was a leader, right? That's what he said. He was a dash. He was a
so
neat.
you can be the leader without being the best player. Yeah, that's what I
Sorry.
said. Uh,
Oh, anyways.
some coaching news in the NBA. The Kings are signing interim coach Doug Christie to a multi-year contract. So starting next season, he will be the official coach of the Kings. Thoughts on that?
I like it. I mean, he did a good job of what you could have done with when Mike Brown was released from his duties.
Via phone call.
So via phone call, yeah, which is What would Mike Malone say? They got no balls.
And then Mike Malone got fired too.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
he's like, they got no balls either. No, but Doug Christie, I like him. It was so funny. I told my dad that he's like the new coach of the Kings, and he said, "Oh, I remember watching him play basketball," which is kind of
Yeah,
funny.
that's how it goes typically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's usually what happens. No, but I like that. I think he did a good job, and I remember De'Aaron Fox before he got traded saying that it's different when your head coach used to play in the NBA. So maybe,
Mhm.
um, I mean,
And then
I'm
they
not.
traded him, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm not envious of the job that he has to deal with. The
No.
Kings are in a strange spot, but
Uh,
I think he did a good job with what was given to him. And let's see now that he has the keys if he can like really change stuff. But what do you think?
I mean, it's fine, I guess. I don't have any super strong opinions. I can't lie and say that I watched a ton of Kings basketball going down the stretch of the regular season with Levine, DeRozan. I've seen that before, so I was not super interested in that. Um, I know Sabonis has talked a little bit about his future at the organization and if he should still be there, so we'll see what happens with that. My wonder is, is this, are we about to get like another 10-year playoff drought for the Kings? I could see it happening after making the playoffs once, maybe
I mean,
twice. Um,
The West is that good. It's so ridiculous to think that, but
it
it's
feels
true.
like their window is already closed. Like not obviously they're never a championship contender, but just even as like a solid Western Conference team, with the people they have in their roster, I don't see how they surpass any of the teams that actually made the playoffs this year.
Yeah, it's interesting because like you put this team in the East, and I could see them being like a six seed easily, but it's like they're not. You're in the West. You're the exact same team on the Bulls, essentially. It's like,
Yeah.
what can you expect to do? We'll see. I can't wait for the Sabonis Vucevic trade. That's going to be
Oh my
funny.
God. Diabolical.
That would be insane. They're like, oh, we want to put Sabonis and Valanciunas will be included, so it'll be all the Lithuanians on the Bulls. Be like that.
Oh, your
Um,
favorite team. That
I actually would like my citizenship would be rescinded if I didn't like basically root for them every time. Um, but yeah, I mean, we'll see what the Kings. We'll talk about that in the offseason, that's for sure. But
Yeah, yeah,
the Christie's in. The Grizzlies are signing interim coach Thomas Isolo. I think that's how they said it on the
yeah,
broadcast.
yeah.
To a multi-year contract to make him the official head coach starting next season. He is the first Finnish-born head coach in NBA history. He was also the coach. I think it was the head coach of the Finnish national team.
Hmm.
And Laurie Markkanen's Finnish, right?
Yes,
So must have coached him as well.
they call him the finisher.
Oh, that's actually pretty good. I like that. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this?
Uh, yeah. I mean, I think we saw this coming when Taylor Jenkins was fired. He seemed like the guy that they liked. I think that's part of the reason they fired him is because they were like, oh, we actually really like this guy. Just want to make him even more an important part of our organization. Um, so it's fine. I mean, he won like EuroLeague Coach of the Year, played in the EuroLeague, has a good coaching regimen. They did just get absolutely walloped by the Thunder, so it's an interesting time to make it. But that feels probably more like a roster thing than a coaching thing. So, look, I don't think anyone went to that series thinking, "Oh, the Grizzlies have a shot here." So that's not a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, they almost got one game at least. But
Almost.
almost.
And then from coach to coach to coach, let's talk about this news, the sad news right here. Gregg Popovich transitioning to team president, no longer going to be the coach of the San Antonio Spurs. I wrote down a lot for this because it's big, it's a big deal. So he's been
It's huge.
coaching there since 1996, the year both of us were born. 28. I mean, that is a crazy coaching tenure. Actually, I wanted to list this number, but I forgot. So let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, you got it. Well, I just want to say that Greg Popovich has been, I mean, obviously he's been the head coach since we've been born, but just seeing him always be a part of the organization is always what you wanted in a head coach. Just a someone that you believe in and believes in the team through thick and thin, and is always a phenomenal coach. So, all only respect for Greg Popovich.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I've never been a Spurs fan. In fact, I disliked the Spurs most of my life because the other Texas team that has always had a lot of success in my lifetime, whereas a Rockets fan, the last time we won a championship was the year I was born, so I haven't got to watch any of that, obviously. Yeah, the number I wanted to put here, since 1996, when Gregg Popovich was hired, how many coaching changes have there been in the NBA? Head coaching changes
Oh my God.
total.
Interesting total. Okay. I'm gonna just put out I'll just say like 2050.
Okay, that is way too high.
Okay. Sorry.
So,
Okay. 888.
still way too high.
400.
We're close. We're getting close. 303.
Okay. Oh my
300,
God.
303 head coaching changes since 1996. The Spurs include zero of those
Why did I
until
think
right
thousands?
now.
I'm so stupid. Oh
There's
my
only
God.
30 NBA teams. They
I
don't change coaches that
know.
often.
Like every season, if every coach if every team got a different coach every season, we still wouldn't get to
Yeah,
2000.
I was like, that's a crazy guess. I mean, I guess I
Oh.
didn't give you. I should have maybe gave you like a line, like an over/under line.
No,
Um,
it's fine. 303 coaching changes is a lot. Oh my
it,
gosh,
it's
that's
a
crazy.
lot in our 28-year NBA lifetime.
And zero for the Spurs.
Zero
Wow.
for the Spurs until now. He won Coach of the Year three times. Probably one of those guys that you could have given it to him every year, kind of like a LeBron for MVP in his prime kind of thing. But after a time, you just got to start rewarding other people. So, yeah. He has the most coaching wins in NBA history. Let me hear your guess on this number.
Okay, is it like 1450?
That is really close.
Really?
That is incredibly close. 1422.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
what
cool.
a great guess.
Okay. I don't know. It felt right.
The most all time. So that's pretty big. He did get credit for all the wins of the season too, because he was still technically the head coach. So, um, whatever. But that's pretty huge, obviously. This is what I thought was maybe the craziest when I read it. He led the Spurs to 18 consecutive 50-win seasons.
That's
That's
crazy. And
wild.
that was a big reason why growing up, like I wasn't a big Spurs fan because they were always so good, you
Yeah.
know? And that's just a
Not
testament.
one down season in there is crazy.
That's crazy.
Um, yeah, I mean, I wish for the Rockets. 170 playoff wins. Not sure that is on the ladder for, all-time coaching wins. I imagine
Hmm.
it's probably up there. Led the Spurs to five championships, of course. And yeah, so probably the greatest coach in NBA history, right? We could say that, I think, pretty comfortably.
Will probably say that. Yeah. I mean, I like to throw
I
Phil
know you love
Jackson in
Phil.
there. Yeah. But the fact that Greg Popovich did this all on one team is a testament to his coaching demeanor and just the way he was able to lead this team. And especially like a team, if I'm being honest, I remember as a kid like seeing this team like on paper, I'm like this team is okay. Like they're not five championships good. Like
Mm,
they have a lot of good players, but I think a lot of it came down to the coaching down the stretch that you were able to get so many wins, you know? I don't know,
yeah,
like they're not the flashiest. Like none of these guys were Tony
fundamental.
Parker's exactly. Yeah,
It was
and
literally Tim Duncan's nickname.
I
The
know the
big
big
fundamentals.
fundamental. Yeah, of course. It was just, it was I think this will be a team and a coaching career that will be studied for maybe forever,
Yeah.
to see how you're able to get that consistently.
I am glad that he, is still doing something with the team, still the team president, whatever that means. So he's still making decisions, still giving influence. I know
Mhm.
some people think Red Auerbach, they'd like to throw that name out there for greatest coach. He coached the Celtics with Bill Russell, and they won like 8 championships in a row. Whatever.
I again I think I mentioned this. Like at a certain point, I don't think those championships matter. But it's just there's eight teams in the league. I'm like, yeah, of course you won eight times. There's like only eight
Yeah.
people you had to go against. So
Try winning in the Popovich era. Um,
yeah, try getting 18 straight seasons with 50 plus wins. Try that.
yeah,
That's crazy.
it's a big deal.
No.
Assistant Mitch Johnson has been hired as the next coach for the team. He's been an assistant there for a little over a decade. He has been the kind of interim head coach since Popovich had a stroke back in November and hasn't been with the team. So The Popovich chain continues, still has the influence there. At some point, maybe an off-season episode, I think it would be really interesting to study the Gregg Popovich coaching tree. There's a lot of
Yeah, I
coaches in the NBA that at some point went through the Spurs organization. So,
yeah, I mean I can Steve Kerr, Ime Udoka,
yep, that
um
that series. Yep.
yeah. So
There's a
literally
lot.
yeah. What do you think about Mitch Johnson?
Um, I can't lie and say that I watched a ton of Spurs basketball because Wimby went out with the blood clot, and I was like, okay, yeah, this no longer matters. But a guy that has been under Greg Popovich for 10 years, I imagine, has the tools needed to carry that job on, and I assume Popovich had a say in who was the coach. So, um, I can't disagree with Greg, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, I like him. I've watched a bit of Spurs, and even when, I mean, the expectation was pretty low for the Spurs, and they exceeded that. And it was mostly with Mitch Johnson as the coach when they were
Yeah,
able to get a lot of like really good wins against really good teams. And I think a big reason why they didn't even make a push for the play-in tournament is because Wemby went out. So if that didn't happen, I mean, easily could have been the eighth seed, maybe, you don't know. So I like the I also like keeping it close to home. Like you're not hiring some outside. You're not hiring like Mike Budenholzer to be your head coach, It's just like some random
Mike
guy.
Budenholzer was an assistant under Greg Popovich.
I know, but still like okay, but what like a
But like
while
someone who's
ago.
been there with the team. Yeah, I
Yeah,
get you.
yeah, and has been there for like through this time. So I like
Yeah.
to see that for sure. Yeah. Still some more Spurs news. Well, okay, last thing I want to say, thank you, Greg Popovich, amazing coach. And yeah, it's just
You
I,
guys know better. How dare you boo on the free throw line to this player who has contributed so much to our organization?
yeah, I mean only respect for him. That's crazy.
Only Greg can pull that off.
Really. And then not even ejected from the game or anything. Just like, okay, 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 thank you for saying that. Now sit down, please.
The
Thank you.
refs were like, "You're right."
Yeah, you're right. We should have said something. Moving on to some more Spurs news, which is pretty cool. Stephon Castle won the 2024-2025 Rookie of the Year award, and he's the fourth Spur to win the award. You want me to name the other three? I remember. I saw a graphic, so I
Rats.
remember. Yeah.
I mean, you
Um,
could probably guess it even if you didn't see the graphic. It's like
yeah,
pretty
Wemby
easy
because
names.
yeah, Wemby. It was so funny because Wemby was the last one. If when I was trying to think off the top of my head, he was the last one I thought of. I
Yeah,
was like, I definitely know Tim Duncan and David Robinson,
yeah.
and then Wemby just last year.
Just
So
last year, back to back
back-to-back
ROTYs.
Spurs. Yeah. So congrats to Stephon Castle. I believe he was both our picks for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Easy pick there.
Yeah. He had a great end of the year that kind of made him the favorite for sure.
Yeah, he played a lot and didn't look horrible. Congratulations. You win Rookie of the Year. Another award winner, Dyson Daniels, winning the 2024-2025 Most Improved Player, I think was my pick for this award, if I
He
remember
was your
correctly.
pick. Yeah. I think he was second or third for me.
Huge.
Yeah.
I could have sworn I was going to go to Cade. I thought they
Yeah.
would vote for Cade. I'm surprised they didn't. I'm happy they didn't because I think we all thought Cade was going to be a good player. But the Dyson Daniels getting traded, not ever really playing much for the Pelicans, and then just kind of having this crazy season out of nowhere. That's really
Yeah.
what the Most Improved Player award means to me. So I'm happy that he won.
No, a huge congrats to Dyson Daniels. I mean, Cade Cunningham was an all-star. He got his respect, and he will continue to get it because he's a phenomenal player. And Dyson Daniels, I hope will stay at the same caliber he is now because he's a great player. I don't know what happened, but he got unlocked in Atlanta. So,
He got to play.
oh
That's
yeah,
part
that
of it.
does help. That does help. All right. Well, let's move on to round one updates, and it's round one ends today, so technically we can't say it's a review of round one
No,
because
it's
it's
over.
not over.
Uh, Game seven's already been decided. So
Rockets won. Rockets
yeah,
won
exactly.
by 50. By 50. It was nasty. So yeah, round one. We'll just go over a couple of the matchups. The first one was pretty not exciting. It was Cavaliers versus Heat, the first seed versus the eighth seed in the East. The Cavs won game four by 55 points, 138 to 83.
Yeah. Um, Brutal. So I was watching this game, or I watched it a little bit, and I remember the score. It's crazy. The amount of 3-8 that I saw is nuts. So you said the final score 138 to 83.
Hmm.
Okay. When I was watching the first quarter, I remember it being 38 to 13. And I remember checking back in like the second or third quarter, it was 83 to 38. So there's a lot of 3-8 going on here. It kind of threw me. I was like thinking I was having a fever dream. So when I was watching this game, I was so confused. But it was embarrassing. Yeah, it was an absolute smackdown.
Yeah. Oh, and I also forgot to put this in the notes, but I sent you this graphic. The FanDuel live point spread for the Heat.
Oh, yeah,
So
this
at
is
the
really
start of
good.
the game, it was plus 8.5. So that means that the Cavs were the favorites by 8.5 points.
Uh,
The during the game, like third quarter, the current live point spread for the Heat was plus 45.5, which is insane.
God,
So that
I
means
mean,
if
I
you
mean,
bet on them to win, for every dollar, you'd get 45 bucks if they won. Crazy.
is
Sorry.
that what point spread means? Wow, now I've learned.
I believe so. I believe so. I'm not gonna go in and say that I know a lot about gambling and live point spreads, but I just know 45.5 is an insane point spread.
I'm in Texas. It's illegal to gamble here. Although I think you
Uh,
can sports bet, maybe.
yeah, I
Uh,
think they're changing laws
I think
there.
you can do like prize picks and stuff like that. Which,
Yeah,
by the way, I see kids in my school doing it, and I'm like, this is illegal because you're 14.
for
But
real.
that's
Yeah.
the world we live in. So I tell their parents, and their parents are like, yeah, no. And I'm like, okay, awesome. Yeah, the series, I mean, wasn't ever really competitive. The Heat just didn't have, yeah, they just didn't have a chance,
Yeah.
I think. Um, yeah, we don't need to talk about it.
There's
It was ugly.
Tyler Hero is a very good NBA player, and Davion Mitchell hopefully will be unlocked, and that's about all I got from that series.
Bam wasn't good enough. Wiggins is
Yeah.
fine. Tyler Hero did say, I don't know if you saw, he said something like, "Oh, we don't have Jimmy, so how are we supposed to win?" I was like, "What? What a crazy thing to say." Um,
Pat Riley is just like fuming, like I'm trading that guy. I'm trading that guy. He's out of here.
you better play or you better shut up. The other kind of not exciting series in the East for me, Celtics Magic. Celtics won 4-1. Game five, huge third quarter surge by the Celtics is what you have here.
Yeah.
Uh, I wasn't interested. I didn't watch it. I think this is one of the days there were like four games on at the same time, and I was like, well, that's not going to be interesting, so I'm going to watch something else.
Yeah,
Um,
I
yeah,
didn't I wasn't able to watch this game. I forgot I was doing something, but I was checking the score and I remember seeing at the second during the second quarter and first the Magic had the lead for
yeah.
most of the first half. And then I looked at the score after the third quarter and Celtics were up by 20. I was like, that sounds about right. And then it
Yeah.
just ended. So
I mean,
um
it's what we thought was going to happen. Celtics,
yeah,
I don't even,
and
they were asleep for half the series and they still won pretty
yeah, I
handedly.
mean, and what do we say about the Magic? I mean, get healthy, get your
Get
shooting
get
down, and then
offense.
yeah, and get a guy, and then we'll see you next year in the playoffs
They need a
probably.
center. I think Wendell Carter is not the guy.
I think they need a playmaker. They don't have,
I
and
mean, yeah.
yeah, Jalen Suggs is good, but one that is a bit more of an offensive threat, I feel like would be really good for them. But someone who can shoot too, but
They need like a Chris Paul, Mike Conley,
yeah,
old veteran point guard in there leading the way.
yeah, we'll see.
Um, that would be big.
Yeah. Next series. So now it gets more interesting in
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
East. We got three seed Knicks versus the six seed Pistons. Knicks were able to finish out the Pistons in Detroit, game six. A lot of this series probably had maybe the most questionable calls, besides like the Lakers series, I'd say. Especially the ending of game was four. This easily could have been like a 3-3 series, and we'd have a game seven today or something or yesterday.
It
So
should have been a 3-3 series
yeah,
because
it
there
really should have.
absolutely should have been a foul call at the end of game four.
Yeah,
And
but
I
I'm saying,
assume Tim Hardaway is making at least two of three free throws to win the game for them.
oh yeah, it was a 1 point lead, right? I was gonna
Yeah.
say, yeah. Anyways, the Pistons won game five. Cade Cunningham did a really good job. There's a really funny. video of like Jalen Duren, like Jalen Brunson, like being on the ground and Jalen Duren just like get your like flopping ass up, which
Yeah.
thought was really
Yeah, yeah.
funny. Yeah, the Pistons just is. I'm always in awe of any team that can go into Madison Square Garden and pull out a win,
Hmm.
because it is such a just raucous crowd.
Every
And
playoff game, they're like, look at these 12 celebrities that are here.
yeah, and then I see that they lost. I'm like, look at these 12 celebrities who watched the Knicks lose, and I
Yeah,
was just like, oh. But yeah, this series should have had a game seven. Would have been incredible, especially in New York in Madison Square Garden. Would have been electric.
it should have. It should
Um,
have for sure.
but I gotta say, so the Knicks won game six thanks to some clutch buckets from Brunson. He got that step back three. He got the space. He made it.
He
That
did
was a
he
game.
like kissed his little three and yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
did
whatever
his
he does.
little, yeah, and
Man, he put a Sarge
yeah,
slid on that play. It was rough. He
yeah.
was also like pretty bad going into the fourth quarter. Like he was pretty inefficient, but clutch player of the year for a reason, I guess.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, regarding the series, I mean, so mad respect for the Detroit Pistons for going the six games against the Knicks. I mean, some people have the Knicks going all the way to the finals, so like to be able to push them, in all honesty, should have been to a game seven, like all the way to the end of the road. Neither of us thought they were going to win this series, and to make it this competitive is a huge testament to compared to last year.
Oh yeah,
Literally last year. I mean, just crazy. So I'm super happy for them. This is not a failure. This is a good thing, and they will learn from this and will be even better next year.
yeah. I agree. I think this series was a lot more competitive than I thought it was going to be. Um, I will say it does seem, it feels more like a Pistons lost the series than a Knicks won the series with the missed foul call at the end of game four, the 21-0 fourth quarter run in game one to give up that game. I mean, that's two games that wins right there,
Hmm.
and then that's four wins for the Pistons and they win the series. So I think they had it right there for the taking. Unfortunate, but every game was pretty close. It was very physical, very competitive. I liked watching it a lot. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what they can come back and do next year with a little more growth from some of their guys, and hopefully they can keep some of that veteran presence. Yeah, and also we have to talk about Ib six. Texted you. I was watching it. Brunson makes the three. Pistons get one possession to tie the game up. They have about 4 seconds left, I think. They run a little action. Cade Cunningham gets doubled, passes it to Malik Beasley, who has been on fire like all game, and he just bobbles the ball and it falls out of bounds, and that's how they lose the series. Really tough way to go out, but a great season overall for the Pistons. Um, and yeah, I'm excited to see what they come back and do next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait to see. I hope they keep a lot of the same guys there, like the core that you're saying with these veteran presence, and maybe adding a few more people. But I think you got Cade, build around him, make sure you get some more other weapons when he's not on the floor, and then next year is totally different.
Yeah. Another interesting, even though it was a 5 game series, it was an interesting 5 game series in the East. Pacers Bucks. Pacers do win 4-1 in Indiana. Before the game, it was announced Damian Lillard did in fact tear his Achilles, which was the fear going in. Um, if you watch the game where it happened, he kind of went down, grabbed like the front of his leg, which usually is not an Achilles thing. But people thought it was Achilles. It's always interesting. People kind of put out the reports right when it happens, like, "Oh, this could be that." Like they fear it could be this. I'm like, how do you know? Yeah, how do you know
Yeah.
before they do the test and stuff? Um, but there's this picture, and the picture is just like after he kind of goes down, and you can clearly tell he's in pain. He's kind of just sitting with his feet on the ground, knees up, kind of like a sit up, but he's sitting up in the sit up position and just kind of looking around, uh, kind of just taking it in. It felt weird.
Hmm.
Um, he's pretty old. He's like 34, I think. Uh, he's up there in age
Yeah, something like that.
with an Achilles injury, which is not an easy injury to come back from. So we will see what he looks like. Obviously, it's really tough. This happened in the playoffs. He's obviously not going to be ready for the start of next season because this takes a long time to kind of recover from. So hopefully it gets better sooner rather than later. But a tough way to go out. And then in game five, goes to overtime even without Dame. But Tyrese Haliburton just has a crazy performance in overtime, 9 straight points, including like an and one free throw line. And he is, in Indiana, he is very good at, bringing up the crowd's energy and all of that, getting really hyped and into it. Um, and then after the game, he jumped on the scorer's table and was, talking to the crowd. One of those moments. Who's like famous for doing that? Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I remember who was it? Like Patrick Beverly did that or something after the play-in victory over the
He
Clippers on the
did.
Wolves a couple years
Yeah, he
ago.
did, which I loved. Which that's like the only
It's funny.
one things of his that he's done that I loved. But yeah,
I will say, I know the Pacers and Bucks have this kind of weird rivalry over the last couple of years. They had the in-season tournament 2 years in a row, right? Did they play in both in-season tournament? I know they played last year. I don't remember if they played this year.
I think they played this year, and then the Bucks won. Yeah,
Yeah. They had the whole, Giannis had his career high game ball. They played in the playoffs last year. And then they played in the playoffs this year. So they've had this kind of budding rivalry. I think Halliburton at the end of this game was doing a little too much. I love Halliburton. I have a shirt when I'm doing the skip. Like he's one of my favorite players in the league to watch. Love his facilitating. Love how
hmm
energetic and passionate he gets. But this one almost seemed like a kicking them when they're down kind of moment. And I mean, you should celebrate your victories, but this was not. I think it's a little different now because, like last year in season tournament, the Bucks were clearly favored, and they won that game, and it was like, oh, that's like an upset. Like, but this one is like they were the higher seed. Dame just went out with the Achilles injury. They're already up 3-1 in the series. Um, so afterward to kind of be like he kind of gets in people's face about it. He had some talking during the series he was doing with Dame
he
and some
does.
other
Yeah.
guys. So it just felt like a little much. And I'm a Halliburton fan, but I gotta call my guys out when I think I need to.
hmm
Um, and then I gotta call his dad out too.
Yeah.
Let's
I
let's
think
talk let's talk
this
about it.
is yeah, this is more inexcusable. But yeah, yeah.
So after the game, Tyrese is on the scorer's table, like I said, talking to the crowd, and his dad, John Haliburton, which is a silly name. Silly name. He walks out of the court. He has like this, it's like a towel or like a blanket or something. He walks out, and Giannis is just standing there, like staring, literally just standing there staring after the series is over, kind of taking it in. And he just walks in front of Giannis and is just holding him, holding it up. It has like Tyrese's face on it, and just like taunting him. And there's some sort of verbal thing that we don't really know what he says. And Giannis is just kind of standing there looking at him. And then I think there's two people that come over. I think Pat Connaughton's one of them for the Bucks, and then I think TJ McConnell. So, our
Yeah.
white saviors, they come over and they're, they're like they're like, I'm so sorry. Like I don't know what that was totally not okay. So I guess they may have heard, they may have caught some audio of something that John Halliburton said. And then
Mhm.
Giannis is just standing there, and then he kind of goes after him and kind of gets in his face and is talking to him for a little bit. And there has to be some separation and stuff like that. Afterwards, a couple things from fall that came from the fallout of this. Um, First of all, Tyrese Haliburton, I just got on his case. He made a very good post-game press conference thing where he was like, "What my dad did was not okay." So
Yeah.
that's nice, nice of him to not be like, "That's my dad." He called him out, so good on him. The Pacers announced that Tyrese's dad can't go to games for the foreseeable future, which I don't know what he said, so I don't know if this is a logical thing or not, but it sounded like not only the playoffs, but even like next season, there may be like yeah, you can't show up. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens there.
Yeah, it's tough.
So kind of a wild reaction. And then continuing the post game antics. Yeah, we Giannis is sitting there shaking people's hands, whatever, people at the as they do at the end of series, dapping people up, whatever. And then him and Ben Mathurin, he like goes up to Benedict Mathurin and like grabs the back of his head as players do. And they're like chatting for a little bit, and then Ben Mathurin starts like trying to back up, and Giannis like has his head doesn't let him escape, and then like a bunch of players get in there like whoa, 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 and there's like a little scuffle,
Dude,
altercation.
that was insane. Because I was like, oh, there's respect between them. Because usually you kind of like grab them, and you're like, hey, like, want to say like, because it's so loud in there, you kind of pull them in close,
Hmm.
and then yeah, you see Matherin try to get away, and I was like, no, 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 no,
Where do
that's
you think you're
so
going, huh?
intense. Wait, 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 no, 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 no. Yeah, it's like so strange. Yeah, who
So,
knows what was talked about in that exchange?
yeah, what do you think about all the post game antics about John Haliburton, about the series in general? I've kind of been yapping on for a while here, so
Yeah.
I want you to chime in.
No, thank you for breaking it down. So I think what Tyrese was doing was fine. I mean, yeah, he's a little bit of showboat. That's just who he is. So, I never agree with over celebrating, but you're also not doing it you're not in Milwaukee doing it. You're at
That
home in
yeah, that's fair.
Indiana. I'm like, cool.
That's
What his dad did is insane. I was watching and I was like, okay, you're talking with him, sure, but then like literally going up to him and doing it the towel and everything, I'm like, there's no need for that. There really is no need for that. And I know you're proud of your son, but have some humility and also, I mean, have some like respect for yourself.
yeah.
Like I doubt anyone as a Pacer fan is watching that like, yo, that's awesome. I'm glad he's doing that.
Uh,
Like I feel like everyone's kind of like, oh, is that his dad? No, shoot,
yeah.
that's not good. And then like Giannis, like his post game thing was I
Oh
liked
my
his
gosh.
too. Well, I mean,
Every Giannis post game elimination is like a 5 minute speech of like, what is
yeah,
happening? Did I really lose?
yeah,
What is going
and
on?
I'm yeah. Anyways, it was an unfortunate series of events that transpired after. I know these two teams have like that rivalry, and I love it on the court. But what I also like to see is that a lot of the times, a lot of these rivalries, once the game is over, it's not really that animosity is not there as much.
Right.
Um, so it's a little bit different in this case. And okay, do I agree with the Pacers basically banning Tyrese Haliburton's dad from going to playoff games and possibly the regular season? I don't like it, but also I get it. I
Yeah.
mean, like that was a super not cool thing to do on the court. Like the fact that he's allowed on the court is a privilege.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
everyone is allowed on the court.
Right.
So you just basically took it for granted, and now you're not gonna be able to watch your son maybe go to the conference finals again. Who knows?
Yeah, your
Not
son's
able to like
on the
fight.
scores table yelling at the crowd. Why don't you go over there? Why don't you go,
Yeah. Like why are you
celebrate with him?
taunting? Yeah, well, it's about your son's victory, not about your foe's loss. That's what it should have been about, you
And
know?
also, I love Tyrese Halliburton. He's nowhere near the player that Giannis is.
No.
Giannis is
He's
like,
not MVP talks. He's
yeah,
not.
I mean, it's like, even if you're talking about the series, but it's not like your son's better. Like,
No. Yeah, yeah. It's a team effort all around. I mean, also about the game, we got to talk about Gary Trent Jr. Because
oh
of
yeah,
them,
yeah, for sure.
they were because of him, he was the second best player on the court for the Bucks. They were able to Pacers got the lead in the fourth quarter. Gary Trent Jr. brought it back. They kind of got the lead a little bit, and then it was back and forth, and they got tied, went to overtime. Gary Trent Jr. immediately keeps it going. He's like 6 of 10 or 11 from three at
Yeah,
this point. And
12 straight or something like that, right?
12 straight. Yeah, he was just having a great game. And then similar to what you mentioned about Malik Beasley, he had the exact same thing where he got the ball passed to him on the corner and it just went like he grabbed it and it went under his legs and out of bounds. And that was the end of the Buck season, basically, right there. It's
Yeah.
just
We gotta
super
investigate
unfortunate.
who's slipping up these balls in the last possession.
Yeah, he's greasing them up. He's
Yeah,
greasing up these balls.
Dwight Howard. You remember that?
No, what? What
There's
happened?
like a I don't remember who the player was. God, I wish I could remember who the player was. Somebody was complaining that they got the ball to shoot a free throw, and the ball was really sticky because Dwight Howard had just like touched all over it. And apparently, for what could have been several years, Dwight Howard had this can of like sticky stuff on the sideline that he would use and rub on the ball. And then all he got was a verbal warning, and then they banned the substance. Um, that was a thing in the NBA a while ago, though.
I literally don't remember that. That's crazy.
Yeah. That seems
Weird.
like something you would get like kicked out of the NBA for, but
Literally, it's cheating. It's straight up like just cheating.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, Yeah, so I mean, it would be interesting to know exactly what was being said between these altercations, but also, Benedict Mathurin and the Giannis, I'm a bit more like, okay, you're two players, you just went at each other for like 5 games. It's a bit more excusable. Obviously, not holding someone hostage by the neck, Jesus.
I don't know what
Um,
that was.
that's psycho.
It was
That's
awesome.
actually psycho. It's so funny. Like someone shared a graphic. You've seen Dark Knight Rises, so it's like when
Of
Bane
course.
holds like John Dagger. Like, what the hell is
Oh yeah,
going
yeah,
on?
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
he kind of holds it. Like, do you
he's like, I'm the
feel in
boss, and he's like,
control? Do you feel in control? Yeah, he goes. Yes, it's kind of
yeah.
like that scene.
That's so funny.
Which was interesting. But obviously, I wish like that stuff didn't happen. It was a great series. It was competitive, and we'll see what the Pacers do next.
Yeah, and you brought it up, or you put it in the notes at least. Giannis's future. We do it every time he's
Yeah.
out in the playoffs. What is the future like? I mean, this team, they went all in again when they traded for Dame, just tore his Achilles. We talked about that. So what's next? Well, they don't have a lot. I mean, the reason they lost the series pretty handedly is because it was just Giannis and a ragtag group of random players, basically, against a
Mhm.
pretty, fledged out, developed Pacers team. So what does he do? I don't think I think the window is closed. I don't see anything that the Bucks can do with the assets they have because they don't have a lot of draft capital. They don't have a lot of valuable young players to trade. Um,
Well,
so
they
it's
did for Kuzma. Yeah, they had
I don't know.
AJ Johnson, and now they're like,
Now he's over there on the Wizards. Congratulations, Wizards. Yeah, I don't know what you do. I mean, I love, and we didn't talk about this really with the Damian Lillard thing. He didn't ever request out of Portland.
yeah,
He said he wanted to be there for his career. He kind of got traded, not against his will, but it wasn't like he wanted to go necessarily. So he wanted to kind of I think he kind of accepted, I'll be a Portland Trailblazers lifer, even if it means I don't win a championship. Um, which we don't see a lot now in the NBA. And now here
yeah.
he is in the Bucks, where's Achilles. This team is not a championship team, I don't think. Um, so with Giannis, I'd love to see him be a Bucks lifer. I don't foresee that being the thing though. I feel like he's probably got to go. So I think the Bucks' time is over. I think we're done with that. I don't see them being in a position where they can ever beat the Celtics, the Cavs, any of those kind of higher level Eastern Conference teams with who they have on their roster currently. And I don't really think they have, like I said, the ability to get more people. So that's my opinion though. It's hard because they don't have their picks, so even if they bottom out and tank out, they don't have the ability to draft or anything like that. So I don't know what they do. Um, what do you think?
Well, I was just gonna say, it's interesting you mentioned like that window being closed because, whose window is also closed is the Suns, and they both were both in the finals 3 years ago. So I just think
Crazy.
it's interesting that like has come and gone so quickly and lingered, but now it's not there. Giannis is still, a top um 3, 5 player in the league for
Right.
sure. I would love to see him stay on the Bucks, but yeah, it's like how are you able to um build around him now? I don't know. I honestly don't know. And well, okay, here's my question. Would you blame Giannis for asking out?
Um, no. I think it depends, right? It depends on how it's done. But I think in terms of, he's won MVPs, he's won your franchise championship, he's stuck it out through kind of these different eras of Bucks basketball. There's been a lot of trades made to try to appease him. He did sign an extension not that long ago, so he's under contract for a while. But yeah, I mean, I think if you look at the Bucks team, it's clear that they don't really have a lot of avenues to go. So if he was like, I want to go to a good team, and maybe that's the way you recoup some assets is through Giannis. You get another
Yeah.
team's draft picks, or maybe you go get some of your own back from some teams you made trades with, like the Nets kind of did. Um, when they traded for our their picks from us for the Suns picks. It was a weird situation,
Yeah.
but um, I don't know. I feel like he's done enough that he couldn't really blame him.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree to an extent. And, yeah, maybe, you try to shop around other people first to try and get some assets, but it's like you gotta try to get like a pick here and there and then build up what you got. But it's going to be a lot harder to do it with like one person per pick when you can do Giannis and you can easily get like 5 or 6 picks and probably like at least some decent players back as well. So
Yeah,
we'll see. To the West,
scary business. I just want to ask you,
what's up? Hey, what's up?
what teams make the Giannis move? If
Lakers, dude,
Oh,
dumb.
okay, they trade
No, I'm
LeBron
kidding.
for Giannis. Oh my God,
I would, I would, I would take that. I'm being
I'm sure he would.
honest. Luca and Giannis, Jesus Christ. I bet. Okay, people I bet interested are the Heat. I don't know
Okay,
how.
they're always
Um,
interested.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, Lakers are not realistic. Here's an interesting one I just thought of. What about the Clippers?
Clippers, who do they trade?
James Harden, Kawhi Leonard.
That's not enough. I don't think you gotta have a lot of assets for Giannis.
Yeah, I mean, they got some assets back.
The Rockets.
You think?
We got assets. We got young guys. We
We
got
got
picks.
assets.
We got the Suns picks. You know how valuable those look right now?
Would you want Giannis on your team?
Of course.
Who would you be willing to give up?
Anyone that
Not
isn't Amen Thompson,
okay.
that's where it ends. That's where my list ends.
Seriously, wow.
Yeah. It's Giannis. So what do you mean? You want Şengün and Jalen Green? You can have them. You want Fred? You can have them. You want Jabari? You want Reed Shepard? You want Dylan Brooks? You want Cam Whitmore? Actually, okay, Amin and Tari Eason. I want Tari Eason. Don't take Tari
Yeah,
Eason from
I was
me.
gonna say, interesting. Yeah, I could see them fitting over there. You gotta get more shooting, but besides that, like
Okay,
it's not.
we don't need shooting. We're just defense and fast break, baby. That's our whole game plan.
I mean, it's not a bad idea at all. If Giannis goes to the Rockets, that'd be crazy. That'd be awesome for sure. And it just makes the West even makes the East way worse and the West way better
I'm gonna get a
again.
cardboard cutout for my room.
That would be like all of the MVP candidates, like the last 3 years would be in the West, not counting Embiid because duh.
Yeah, we
But
don't count
literally like
we don't count Embiid.
Jokic, Shea, and Giannis in the West would be insane. And Luca,
Yeah.
I mean, she's crazy.
Guy that's never won
Um,
an MVP. Yeah,
yeah, but he should have, so it's fine.
sure.
Yeah. Come on, man. Um, let's go to the West real quick.
Let's go to the West.
So, just to kind of nip this in the bud, there's no new information about like the Thunder. The Thunder have been chilling this whole time. We haven't potted basically.
Yeah.
So, we talked about that series last time. One of our favorite, I'd say basketball analysts at this point.
Oh yeah,
He's
for
earned
sure.
it. Kenny Beecham, from Kenny for Real. What's the word?
Numbers on
Um,
the board.
that was on the board.
Through the
It's
wire.
his quote is, "It's been so long since the Thunder played, I forgot they existed." End
I
quote.
feel
And I
that.
gotta say, I agreed
Yeah.
because I was like, who does play the Nuggets? Whoever wins Nuggets Clippers, and I was like, who do they play? So that was kind of funny. But yeah, let's talk about Rockets Warriors.
Oh, okay. We can talk about Rockets Warriors. Um, what a series it has been. Rockets down 3-1. I thought it was going to be over for sure, especially, they kind of rolled over in game five, kind of the things that teams do when they're up and they feel like the better team, where they're like, we don't really need to like try very hard this game. Um, but it looks like it could be coming back to bite them a little bit because we won game four, or the Warriors won game four, sorry, a very chippy close game. Sad after the Rockets didn't win game three without Jimmy Butler. Sad loss. But game five, like I said, the Warriors kind of rolled over. We had great defense. You put the stat in here. Warriors starters only had 40 points. Really locked Steph and Jimmy up in that game. And they called it pretty early. Like, I want to say it was some amount of minutes left in the third quarter, and I remember they had a halftime report because we were killing them at halftime, and the sideline reporter asked Steve Kerr, like, how long do you think we'll see the starters in this game? He said, unless we go on like a run, 5 minutes, and then we're done. It was more like 9 minutes, like they were in for a while in the third quarter, but then they brought, Pat Spencer, legend, back in. He got ejected earlier
Dude,
in the series. Just so
I
funny.
hate Pat Spencer. I don't under Why are you talking of a big game? You are number 61 on the Warriors, the most disgusting jersey number,
Yeah.
and you're talking smack. You've done nothing.
Then they
You
brought some guys I'd literally never
Oh
heard
my
of
God.
in, like
Yeah,
Brandon something. I don't know. Some guys that literally I'm like,
I
that's
don't
not an
even
NBA
remember.
player.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we were still playing our starters for a fair amount of time, and then the reserves kind of started coming back, and I was it was a little scary, but never got close enough. We brought the starters back in like the fourth quarter for a little bit, and then the game was over. So that was nice to see, winning in Houston. And then I was a little scared game six, going to Golden State. I mean, I predicted Warriors in six. I think you did as well. So I thought this was it. But Fred VanVleet has been great this series. He's been awesome. He has been making clutch shot after clutch shot after clutch shot. Kind of momentum killers for the Warriors because they are a team that can easily go on a run. And every time it looks like they're about to, he'll hit a very timely bucket and kind of settle the Rockets down, which is great. Veteran presence that we definitely need. Champion with the Raptors in 2019. I know we overpaid him a lot, but I mean it's working. I'm
You
glad.
had to spend the money.
Had to
So,
spend the money. Yeah, we
yeah.
weren't paying anyone, so he's been great. Um, what else happened in Game Six? Draymond got a flagrant like 3 minutes into the game. That was awesome. Jalen Green was trying to go around him on a screen, and I think like hooked his arm or something, and Draymond unhooked his arm and then like shoved him to the ground.
I missed that. What the heck?
It
Jesus.
was it was literally a flagrant like 3 minutes of the game, and then the rest of the game, Draymond in the ref's face, like clapping really loud, complaining about stuff, and then I think back to like Jason Tatum clapping once and getting a tech, and I'm like, things aren't really different for people in the NBA, huh? Uh, the leash for Draymond continues, and the hostilities continue. We're still physical. There's been reports from Steve Kerr saying that we, the Rockets, are targeting Steph Curry's hand. If you've seen his hand, there's a picture he got off the team playing the other day. His thumb is like it's like bloated. It looks gross. Like it does not look good. And during the game, he has like a wrap on it or whatever. So he's like, yeah, we think the Rockets are going after his hand, like intentionally swiping down and hitting his hand on shaft and stuff. And they asked Dylan Brooks about it, and Dylan Brooks was like, yeah. So no denial there. But it's like when a player is injured and you go after him on defense, I guess. Similar idea. Whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I
It
feel like
is.
every team would do
I
the same
mean,
thing.
if it wasn't the playoffs, Steph wouldn't be playing. That's the thing, Obviously, he needs to heal his thumb, and he's playing through it, which I respect. But also, like, it's gonna get hit.
Yeah,
You cannot. There's no like cushion in the NBA. It is just what it is. And I don't agree with like of course, the targeting, but also it's gonna happen. Even unintentionally, it's gonna happen too. So
yeah. Um, then I got to shout out my man Steven Adams. He has been great in this series as well. Size has presented a lot of issues for the Warriors when we have Şengün and Steve Adams running a lot of them out on the court together, getting a lot of offensive rebounds. The Warriors have employed, and this is why I don't feel bad about the Steph thing. Okay, the Warriors have employed the hack a Steven Adams strategy. If you have watched the series at all, Draymond, whoever's guarding Steven Adams, will foul him off ball, forcing him to shoot free throws because he's done a great free throw shooter. But game six, he hit him when he needed to. We kind of had to lead this game for 4 or 5 points most of the game, but it was pretty close throughout. But he was great still. I'm glad to see him healthy and on the court for us. We definitely need him to present that size mismatch down low. But yeah, if you're going to complain about targeting Steph's hand, you're literally hacking a guy to shoot free throws so he can't play offense. So I don't care. Um,
yeah,
Ethical basketball. It's kind of like the fouling for a free throw when you're up three because you don't want them to shoot a three. I hate when people
yeah,
do that.
I
Yes,
hate
it's
that
smart,
too.
but I hate it because it's not ethical basketball.
Yeah,
They're
it's
just
just
hacking
not
the
in the for the
player.
love of the game. It's like for the love of winning, not the game. So
And the Warriors still have not figured out our zone defense. That's been the other big thing in the last couple games. Started running the zone defense. It's giving them a lot of issues, not giving them a lot of spacing. We're leaving Draymond wide open, and he's making threes every now and then. Like in Game 6, he did make the first three he shot. So then he kept taking them, and he kept missing. And we're okay with that. You can have those, Draymond. Jimmy's not a great shooter. Um, you know, Steph, obviously, we're trying to stop him from having the ball in his hand. Buddy has been inconsistent. Pods has been okay. But overall, I think we're just kind of not letting them do what they want to do. So
Yeah.
that's been giving us kind of the wins. And then our defense leading to offense, fast break points, offensive rebounds. Those are kind of the things that we're hanging our hat on because we are not a great half-court offensive team. So we kind of have to stop the Warriors from doing what they want to do and then running in transition.
Yeah.
And that's how we have managed to tie the series back up. So, Game 7 today in Houston. Very excited. Um, hopefully, we can take the win, knock the Warriors out. That would feel very nice as a Rockets fan who has, I think, they played 4 times in the playoffs in the last 10 years before this, and we've lost every time. So,
Yeah.
that
Be
would feel
nice to
good.
win a series. Yeah, absolutely. Um,
Sorry, I feel like I've talked a lot about this and the Pacers, like, just for a long time.
I was gonna say I can talk. I can do the next two 'cause I literally had nothing to talk about with the Thunder. So,
That's fair.
but yeah, Lakers. There's not a lot to talk about here. I don't want
You don't
to.
you don't want to you don't want to talk about the Rockets or Warriors at all
I
before
don't.
we
Oh, no, no. Of course. I mean, I really enjoyed seeing their. It's an elimination game, game five, and you're just locking down on defense, winning like your lives depend on it, and the Warriors were not playing like their lives depended on it.
hmm
And then game six, I was able to catch a little bit of it. You did a deeper analysis, but from what I saw, it just also kind of looked the same. Like they're just kind of coasting, like, oh, we're win. We're the Warriors. We'll win. We're at home. And it just didn't happen, which felt pretty good. So I'm excited to see what it's like in Houston. I'm excited to see how much urgency both teams play with. And I hope it's a lot more interesting of a game seven than the Clippers Nuggets, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And I have a feeling it will be. So I'm excited for
Unless the
the
Rockets
game
blow them
today.
out, that's all right if that happens.
Oh, absolutely. I remember I usually tell my dad, I'll talk to him about like some games and I'll say, oh, the Lakers like blew this team out, was awesome. And I was like, don't you want a close game? Like you want that. I was like, no, no. If it's my team, I want them to blow them out of the water. I don't want a close game.
I
Um,
mean, I would still like an interesting game,
no,
but
yeah, for sure. I mean, but yeah, you don't want to be like you want it to be toward the end, like, okay, we got this.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, you know what series that didn't happen in? Lakers Timberwolves.
Let's talk
Um,
about it.
let's talk. Woohoo! Let's talk about it. No, I'm honestly fine. So the
You've had a little bit
Timberwolves.
of time to recover.
Yeah, it's always like the day of. It's a little hits hard because you're like no more Lakers basketball for till like October, and makes you sad. But there's still a lot of great basketball happening.
Yeah.
That's all good. Timberwolves won Game 5 in LA to eliminate the Lakers. I wasn't able to watch the entire game. I kind of watched like the end. I had a gig. But nothing really went the Lakers' way in the series. But in all honesty, I'm very happy for the Timberwolves because if we had to lose to any team, I'm glad it's a team that I really respect and I do like a lot of the players on this team. Obviously, Anthony Edwards, one of my favorites. Um, so I'm not that heartbroken about it. It was I don't I didn't. The more I think about when we were doing our playoff predictions,
hmm
I've definitely this always happens. My head's a little bit in the clouds, and I'm like Lakers to the Western Conference Finals. But when you think about it, like we traded for Luca midway through the season, and then this team was like a hodgepodge of players trying to complement him. So I
Yeah.
think next year is going to be a lot better. We'll be better planned out and everything. So I think it was a little. It's interesting to see how many people were disappointed we didn't go further, but the more I think about it, I'm like, it kind of makes sense. This whole Timberwolves team played 82 games together. We played 38 together, maybe.
You look good in
So
those 38 though.
we did, and that's the kind of that's what Luca brings to the team, and that's why we're the 3 seed. If we saw AD, we probably would have been like the 6 or 7 seed.
Yeah.
It's just
And you
but
convinced me, by the way. I had the Wolves in the series, and you
I
you
know.
you turned me the other way. I would have been a perfect 8 for 8. Well, I don't know what happens in Rockets or Warriors, but I've been right every other first round series except this one, and it's all your fault.
Yeah, I can be persuasive when it's something I'm very passionate about.
Yeah,
And back then I did believe it, but the more I think we reflect on it, I'm a little surprised it wasn't maybe 6 games. But
yeah.
besides that, like Wolves winning makes sense.
Do you think playing your entire starting five for the whole half and not having any bench depth that you trust is part of it?
well, duh. I definitely think that I didn't hate the decision when it happened. I knew that there was no way we could win this series. I think, especially when that happened, I was like, if we win this game, it'll be lucky, but I don't think we win the series anymore
Mm,
because it's like obviously we don't trust anyone else than these five, and I think he should have subbed people, and I don't agree with that. He played them the entire half, but um. I understood it was like a do or die. It was like we need to win this game. We cannot be down
right.
3-1. So um and I know for sure a conversation must have happened on the sideline. Like you don't play LeBron James the entire half if you don't ask him like, "Hey, can you play an entire half?" Like
Right.
I doubt he's gonna be like if LeBron was like, "I don't want to do that," JJ Redick's like, "Well, you're gonna do it anyways." Like I doubt that happened, or even Luca
Then
or
LeBron
Dorian
says,
Finney-Smith.
mind the game, man. Mind the game. Come on now.
Mind the game, mind the game. Give me a glass of wine. I'm good. I'm good. I'm like, okay, go off. Um,
A
yeah.
glass of
So
wine in
because
NBA
they
game.
always drink wine during the
Yeah,
mind the
yeah. I know,
game.
I know.
No, okay. But I'm happy for the Wolves.
Are you?
Ultimately, no, I am. It came at the expense of my team losing, but it's they I just hope who are they gonna play next? Oh, we don't know yet. Wait, no.
Right. We
Yeah,
don't
we
know.
don't know
Yeah, it's
yet.
Rockets or Warriors. Yeah.
Oh man, if it's Rockets, that's gonna be tough. As Warriors, I hope they smack the shit out of them. I hope the Warriors are so beat up that they just like get swept. That'd be so sick.
Oh,
And would feel so good.
yeah.
Also the Wolves would have home court advantage because they're the 6th seed, so that'd
Yeah,
be sick.
that's true.
But anywho, Lakers. We'll see what the offseason happens. We don't have a lot of like room to move things around. We don't have a lot of cap space. We need a center. We'll
I was
see
gonna
what we
say
can
if you get a
do.
center, that would be nice. Anyone
Yeah,
that is allowed to play NBA minutes. Not Jackson Hayes, apparently. He's not allowed on the NBA court. So Maxi
not
Kleber coming in game six out of nowhere. I
dude.
don't
Oh my
know.
God.
Number
I,
14.
so I was listening to it on the radio and I was like, did I hear this wrong? Did I hear this correctly? I was like, and I was like changing the station. Like, wait, I think my thing's messed up. And then you told me he was number 14. I was like, that's disgusting. I
Yeah.
don't like that. That
Oh,
just be 42 again. Or
just before
was that Jerry West or is 44?
44.
Yeah, so be 42. Come on. 42 is better than 14. What the
Let's
hell?
see.
Um, yeah, but Maxi Kleba, I mean, he didn't really do much. I mean, to
Four-
resort to someone who didn't play at all is crazy.
42 is retired, James Worthy.
That I
That
knew it
makes
was
sense.
somebody. Yeah.
It could be like one of those things where they ask permission. Like Maxi really wants to be 42. James Worthy, is it okay if you unretire your
It's like
number
I'm definitely not gonna be retired in LA or
from Maxi
anywhere.
Kleba? What?
Yeah. Um, yeah, it was a really a desperation move to get him to play, and it was nice to see Maxi Kleber on the court. I think he will be a part of the rotation. I think he's a good NBA player. He's not a starter. He's not a game five savior.
I was listening to a podcast. I think it was group chat, Ringer NBA, and they said something that I didn't think about, but I realized is so true. Maxi Kleber is the idea of a stretch five without actually being a stretch five, because every time he gets the ball at the three-point line, he does not shoot. He like sits there like pump fakes and then like passes it. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, I feel like not obviously this is the first game he played with the Lakers, but thinking back to like his days in the Mavericks, I'm like, I feel like I did see that a lot. Where like he got the ball and like he's supposed to shoot, but he doesn't.
Yeah, he definitely his shot tendency needs to go up,
We need to up that.
for sure.
We need to put on the
Um,
2K sliders.
yeah, but we'll see what we're able to do. We need a center for sure, a starting center, and Yeah, we'll go from there. But something
LeBron,
else,
LeBron's gonna be there. Player
uh,
option.
I think he's going to be there. So my formal guess. So Will texted me, shout out. So Will, he texted me that he thinks next year's going to be LeBron's last year.
Okay.
I think he's going to do 2 more years and that's it.
Okay.
That's my guess. Um, and I think he'll announce it during the year next year, like next year's my last year
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
type thing. Yeah, yeah. Because I
Yeah.
think he
Whenever
would
he
have.
retires, we'll know before the season starts.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. And yeah, I think he's going to be there. He did. Let's talk about this. He did suffer a grade 2 MCL sprain in his left knee when he collided with Dante DiVincenzo. I missed this. I didn't see this, but people texted me like, "Oh, LeBron went out," and then Luca went out too for a bit in this
Yeah.
game. Just a
I
lot of
know. Like
things.
his
In
his lower back was hurting.
Yeah. And LeBron's going to need 3 to 5 weeks to recover. That's fine. We're not in the playoffs,
Yeah.
so
Plenty of time, my boy.
take all the time you need, my dude. Take all the time, please, dude. Get well soon, dude. Um, I do want to shout out Rudy Gobert. He was a non-factor
Oh
all
my
series.
God. He was
And then
so bad early in the series.
game 5, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm 7-1. Let's go crazy on these fools."
He became
Uh,
woke.
he
Sauce.
finished, yeah, with 27 points, 24 rebounds, and they're both career playoff highs. So, congrats to Rudy for proving that he's still relevant and not getting cooked by Luca again.
Yeah.
So I respect that. That's, shows growth as a player. Like if he would have been a non-factor again, I really would have that trade would have looked even worse.
Oh yeah.
But he is a good NBA player. He just his matchups sometimes aren't there. And I didn't see it a lot with the Lakers, but I mean, he is 7 foot. We have no one taller than 6'9".
Like LeBron is the
So
center.
yeah, so
Rui
it's like
Hachimura, Dorian Finney-Smith. Those are like the tallest guys in the court.
yeah, so he definitely did what he could have done the entire series. So congrats to him on that.
Um,
It was a good game.
yeah, I have the more trivia for you. I know you love trivia
I
in the
do.
pod. So 27-24, that's the stat line you mentioned. Who are the last four players that had this stat line in a playoff game? And I put years here for you to maybe help you out. So first player is going to be 2003, and he did in 2002. So back-to-back years.
I know. I'm pretty sure it's Shaquille O'Neal.
It isn't, but 2000 is Shaquille O'Neal, so I'll give
Okay.
you that for the
2003,
Lakers.
2003, 2002.
We've talked about him on this very podcast in this very episode.
James Worthy? I'm
Not
kidding.
James Worthy, believe it or
No, is
not.
it Tim Duncan?
Tim Duncan. Yeah, Tim
Yeah.
Duncan. Uh,
Then Shaquille in 2000.
yeah, 1993 and
I'm gonna,
1988.
I'm gonna say 1993 Hakeem Olajuwon.
Hakeem Olajuwon's 1988, so
Oh,
good,
cool.
good, good pull.
1993, I'm gonna say David Robinson.
Not David Robinson. This guy is not a center, um,
Oh,
but
not Michael Jordan.
he was known for rebounding.
Dennis Rodman.
Not Dennis Rodman. He never scored 27 points in a
Ah,
game. No
I was gonna
shot.
say, I was like, he was like 35 rebounds, 0 points.
This guy won an MVP, never won a championship.
1993.
I can give you some other clues. I just don't want to give it away.
John Stockton.
What? John
Dude, I
Stockton
don't
is
know.
6'1".
I
Um,
know, so
the,
I get rebounds.
Karl
I'm like,
Malone would have been a guess that made
I
more
know. Well, he said
sense.
he's not a center. He said he's not a center, so that's why I
Karl
didn't guess
Malone
Karl
was a
Malone.
power forward. Um,
Oh,
he
right.
played with,
Oh yeah, he played with Ostertag. He was a
yeah,
center.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah.
I was gonna say like
Uh,
Mark Eaton, but I think that's wrong.
I don't know who that
Um,
is. 1993. Okay, hold up. To the
76ers,
Dikembe Mutombo,
Suns,
Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley.
Oh, okay. I thought him, but I don't know why I thought he never got that many. I don't know. Anyways,
His nickname was the Round Mounded Rebound.
yeah.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't know if you knew that.
Yeah, I did not know that. Okay. Well, I'm pretty
So
proud of myself
that's
still.
some crazy company to join. Rudy
Yeah,
Gobert.
absolutely. I mean, also like I mean, he is after winning as many DPOYs as he had, he is going to be a Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah,
So it's just
but
crazy
he's
to witness it in real time.
I mean, it's like a dominant game, but every bucket he had was like a lob at the rim that he dunked over a guy that was 6 inches shorter than him. So it's like, yes, but no.
Also, I want to add, I just noticed this. It's been 20 years since anyone had the stat line.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The center's
That's
back,
crazy.
baby.
Yeah. Well, I
Um,
mean, didn't Jokic, or not in the playoffs, he's never had these
oh,
numbers.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
24 rebounds, a lot of rebounds. It's
Yeah.
hard to get that many rebounds.
No,
Uh,
unless you're the only person who's over 7 feet.
right. That's a little
So that
easier.
makes sense.
Um, who else? What was I going to say? Oh, shout out, of course. One of the reasons that I let you convince me on the Lakers winning the series is the playoff history of one Julius Randle. Had a great series. Um, looked like a grown man out there against LeBron. He hit him with some little shoulder elbow action in the post, scoring on him, defending him pretty well. I thought he was going to do basically nothing, but it could be because he's not the guy anymore. And that was the case for the Knicks. He was supposed to be their number one option, except with like the last year with Brunson kind of took over that role. Um, but yeah, it's like the third guy, after Ant, Rudy, um, and such. He looked really good. So shout out Julius Randle.
Yeah, he had a great series. Definitely didn't think he was gonna be playing like that. Like he came out in game one firing on all cylinders, and I was like, oh, this is Julius Randle now. I was like, oh geez,
Yeah,
okay.
he
I
wanted it.
also got to shout out Anthony Edwards. I mean,
Oh yeah,
incredible series. Doing whatever the Timberwolves needed him to do. He playmaked, he made shots, he played defense. His defense was amazing, I gotta
yeah,
say. So I've sung his praises. I respect the hell out of him for buying into that defense, and now he's gonna have a chance to go to the Western Conference Finals again because of
yeah.
it. So
I mean, Luca and LeBron is as great of offensive talents as they are. When you throw Jaden McDaniels, Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, guy after guy after guy, it's tough. So
yeah, and then you got Rudy Gobert down by the rim just waiting for you. It's like, all right.
come on,
Or Naz Reid. I mean, Naz Reid shout out. He did
yeah, yeah,
did incredible off the bench too.
it's a good team.
Yeah. Um, let's move forward. Congrats, Wolves. Let's see who they play after Game 7 today.
Let's see who they play. The Rockets are.
Okay, cool. Sounds
Um,
good. Do you want to
take
talk
take
about
take
Game
Nuggets
5?
Clippers.
And I'll
Yeah.
do game. I'll talk about Game 7 because I watched all of Game 7.
Okay. You want me to talk about the
You
others?
can do, yeah.
Okay. So Nuggets Clippers 7 game series. Nuggets in seven. Check on my prediction chart and your prediction chart too. I think we both had that. That being said, I still think the Clippers look like the better team most of the series. Yet they lost. So that's just how it goes. Game five, Jamal Murray, playoff Jamal Murray came back, 43 points, only one free throw you mentioned here. I know you had a stat like this a couple years ago, maybe this last year or 2 years ago in the playoffs. He had 50 points with us, zero free throws.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
so that's just his thing, I guess. But he finally showed up after not looking great for most of this series. Nuggets took game five not pretty easily, but like it was one of those games where the scoring margin was close, but it never really felt like the Clippers were going to win this game. It kind of felt like it was the Nuggets game for most of it.
Hmm.
And then game six, the Nuggets did the thing. They said that we're in LA, whatever. And the Clippers just kind of killed them. I mean, it was. I turned it off pretty quickly. It was not very entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
So 3-3
Yeah.
going back to Denver, game seven.
Also, I just a note real quick. During this game, Game 6, I was at SoFi Stadium seeing Beyonce,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
from my seat, I could see the Intuit Dome. So it was crazy to be like, "There's a Game 6 happening right there," but
You
I'm
texted me,
here.
maybe I'll see sad Clipper fans.
Yeah, and I didn't. I didn't see any side Clippers fans. I didn't see any Clippers fans. Typical.
Well, they don't
But
exist, so it makes
yeah,
sense.
exactly. Oh, unless they're flown on a plane by Steve Ballmer to
I
Game
saw, I
7 to
saw
Denver.
stuff.
He flew 120, I think, Clippers fans
I love
from
Steve Ballmer.
LA to Denver to be a part of the wall in Ball Arena for Denver, and they watched their team lose by basically 30 points.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, game 7 started off pretty even, and like the Clippers even got like a lead at the end of like the first quarter. Jokic was like 0 of 5, 0 of 6 to start the game. They defended him super
Jokic.
well. Whatever their scheme was worked really well. But the thing is, the others showed up to play, and then by the end of the second quarter, Nuggets were up by like 11, and then third quarter, just the doors blew up open. Like it was, they went on like a 21-4 run, and then it just was over. Like it was surprising to me by how many times the Clippers would have a possession, and then it came down to Derrick Jones Jr., Chris Dunn, um, or Bogey, like Bogdan Bogdanovic shooting
Mhm.
the shot instead of James Harden or Kawhi Leonard. It was interesting. Not even Zubac like did like a lot, considering that he was like the second or best player on the Clippers for a lot of the series besides Kawhi. So it's just strange. Like whatever, I don't know what game plan they had. Like just give Kawhi the ball, let him cook because he had a pretty good game in the first half, and then just kind of fell off. Like the whole team fell off in game seven. So the Nuggets won. I can't remember by like 19, I think, but Clippers played like their second string players like 7 minutes into the fourth quarter because they were down by like 30. So had a lot of players like Kobe Brown come out. And
Oh,
I don't
big.
I Max Christie's brother. What's his name? I
Cam.
can't. I was gonna say Chris Christie. I was like, I hope it's not Chris Christie.
Chris Christie is a
Uh,
real person.
oh my God. Okay, cool. Bad name. Just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Bad name.
Hot take.
As someone with a complicated name, that's a bad name. So, yeah, it was really fun to watch like the Nuggets. I'm not Nuggets fans by any means, but I'm not a Clippers fan. So,
You're a Clippers anti-fan.
yeah, there's only two. I was thinking about this earlier today. There's only two teams where I kind of celebrate their losses. It's the Clippers and
Clippers and the
Celtics.
Celtics, yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny too. While we were potting, I got an email from the LA Clippers saying, "Thank you, Clipper Nation." I just wanted to shout that out.
You weren't
How
part of
do
the
how
wall
do
this
I
season,
how
so
do I unsubscribe? I'm kidding. They send me some deals sometimes. I was a part of the wall, but I was so far up that I did not participate.
you could have been flown to Ball Arena if you were
That
a real
would-
fan.
I would not have been, I could not have rooted for that. Because I told you, I remember I went to a playoff game, Clippers Suns, and I
Yeah,
was trying to root for the Clippers,
yeah.
and I felt so bad.
Like something's wrong here. I
Yeah, I don't feel
don't.
good. I like felt sick to my stomach, honestly. It's just so weird. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It doesn't matter. But
I felt
anyways,
sick to my stomach. It's hilarious.
yeah. But I mean, shout out to the Nuggets. I mean, we thought they were going to win. Even with the coaching changes, they were able to squeak out a win. This was probably the most competitive series. I mean, besides Warriors Rockets now.
And Knicks
Uh,
Pistons, even though it ended in six, pretty
yeah,
competitive as
for
well.
sure. So it's
The
nice
last
to
three games for this were kind of blah, considering how awesome the first four games were.
yes, 100%. Yeah. So it was unfortunate not to see close games all seven, but it was still a good series. We had
Hmm.
iconic moments like the buzzer beater, Aaron Gordon buzzer beater. So
Very
um
iconic.
yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, shout out Russell Westbrook coming off the bench. I laughed so hard when I saw this. He got a steal from an inbound, and he was like on his own, basically dunked it, and he hung on the rim
Oh,
so long. He
he
like
did.
triple
He, he
beamed.
he's he was swinging.
Yeah, he literally was just like swinging back and forth on it. And like he landed, they teed him up and he goes, "Tee me up. Do it. Tee me up." And then he like turned to the crowd like, "Send their ass home. Send their ass home." It was incredible
Um,
to watch, for sure.
another guy of mine that I have to hold accountable. Chill
Yeah.
out, man.
Yeah. No, no, no.
You're up
That's it.
25 in the third quarter. I know the Clippers kind of did him a little dirty in the offseason, the way they got rid of him and all that. It's like
Yeah.
revenge against them. Chill out, Russ.
Mid-game is hilarious.
Yeah.
So basically do that, like know you're gonna get teed up, land, like they get teed up, okay, I'm gonna scream, tee me up again. And it was basically like just like taunting, like come on, just
Yeah.
eject me, we're gonna win.
Eject me. I'm ready. Um,
Yeah, but
yeah, what
shout
does
out
Lucas
for the
say?
others.
Everyone talks when they up or whatever.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Well, I do want to shout out on the Nuggets. Aaron Gordon had a great game. Christian
Hmm.
Brown, Peyton Watson actually made some like threes from the corner, has some great defensive stops. Russell Westbrook, of course. Um, Michael Porter Jr. He showed up to play after being benched in this game two or game one and two, I think, right? For Russ.
Yeah, but he also has like in game two he got the AC joint thing going on in the shoulder. So I know he
That's
also
why he
started
has the
playing
thing.
less because
Okay.
he he injured himself or whatever.
Gotcha. Well, he had a great game yesterday. So shout out to
Yeah,
them. Jokic, I think, still ended up with a triple double, though he didn't need it. They rested him like all the third quarter, which was incredible. He played a little bit in the fourth just because they were getting closer, but it wasn't going to actually be, you
get
know.
out there, put him down.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't play Kawhi or James Harden again. It was just like Jokic versus Kobe Brown and Cam Christie and stuff like that. So it was,
It's a it's a
uh,
it's a funny thought.
what a way to go out. I mean, all those Clippers fans just having to stay there till the end of the game to get flown back and just lose. And I was just about to say, it's the end. It's the end of an era.
See with that. Norm
It's the
Powell's
end
not
of
very good
that.
in that game.
Yeah, Norm Powell, he had some good shots, but he just wasn't, um, what we expected him to be like the season. So strange way for the Clippers to go out, but the Nuggets, they had the better player. They had the players that came up to play.
Yeah,
And
shout out to
James
the
Harden,
others.
yeah, shout out to the others, and James Harden's still not good in the playoffs. So
Wasn't even a wow shot at James Harden. Uh, wasn't even like a dominant Jokic series like I thought was maybe going to be needed. I mean, he did have triple doubles and stuff, but he didn't feel like he was totally taking over the game. It did feel like after some amount of time, Jamal Murray, Russ, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, especially Aaron
yeah,
Gordon, had the series they needed for them to kind of take it home. So
yeah,
also,
yeah.
David
All right,
Adelman got some fucked up teeth. I gotta throw that out there. His teeth bother me.
Jesus, oh my God,
I hate when I'm watching them and they show
I
David
didn't even.
Edelman. I'm like,
And he
God
goes,
damn.
"Hey Damon, look. Hey Damon, look."
That's, I swear that's what he's thinking the whole time.
I have not seen his teeth. I'll look it up later. Yeah, I'll just look it up right now. Anyways, let's talk
Go
about
ahead.
round two predictions.
Yeah, so round two. I think for the East, at least for me, I'm ready for the conference finals. We got Cavs and Pacers game one today. That'll have already happened by the time you're listening to this pod. I would say for me, as great of a series as the Pacers had against the Bucks, they kind of just swept them away. I don't think they're quite the team that can play against the Cavs. I think Evan Mobley, Jared Allen will be great defensively on the inside. I think Mitchell and Garland will be tough for the Pacers guards to defend. I think the Pacers are just overmatched, so I'm going to say Cavs in five.
Yeah, I was seeing Cavs in six.
Yeah,
Just I think it'll be a little bit competitive. Maybe I think the Cavs will have rested quite a bit, and um, I think Pacers might get like a win or two at home.
yeah,
But the Cavaliers having home court's gonna do it in basically. It'll probably be like 3-1 Cavs, and Pacers might win one, and then they'll go back. They'll win in Indiana. So
yeah. I was thinking 2-0 and then 2-1 and then 4-1.
yeah, I could also see that as well. Yeah, I think Cavs, they just look so dominant, so ready to just go to the conference finals, like you said.
Yeah.
Next we got Celtics Knicks. I
What do you
know,
think of
and
his teeth? I saw you making facial reactions over there.
well, they're the two are so far
That's
apart,
that's that's exactly what I'm talking about.
but I couldn't find anything that showed his whole mouth. It was just like half open. I was like, I feel like there's more teeth there, but I
There's
can't see
more. There's
anymore.
got to be more teeth.
Um, There's got to be more teeth in there. Where did they go? Where'd they go? We got Celtics Knicks. I know initially I picked Knicks in six, but then I think I switched to Celtics in six, and I still think that the Knicks didn't look. I don't know why. They just didn't look as good against the Pistons, and now I'm not as confident in them, and I don't know why because going into the playoffs, I thought the Knicks had a really good shot. They have wing depth. They have the players. That's exactly what they did all those trades for. Let's go against the Celtics. So, we'll see what they can do. But like you've already said, like the Celtics are such a well-oiled machine. Like for like the last 2 years, they know exactly what they're doing. And um, yeah, I don't know. I Celtics in six.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Celtics in five. Disrespect the Knicks. They look not as good as I thought they would look, like you said, in that
Yeah.
first round series. And I thought Bridges. I love Mikal Bridges. I thought his defense was better. I watched at some point in the Pistons Knicks series. Cade had Bridges as his matchup. Somebody was coming, I guess, to screen to switch that had Brunson on them, and Cade said, "No, no, I want this matchup with Mikal Bridges." I was like, "Wow, that's crazy." Um, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to his defense. I think OG is awesome. He was
Yeah.
one He's been great. There's been kind of a funny thing where if attractive female celebrities are at the Garden, the OG plays better. Um, and they kind of joke about that in the Knicks locker room apparently. Like Suni Lee, I think, was at one of their games. They're like, "Oh, OG is gonna be great today." She's like
Who
a
is that?
Olympic gymnast.
Oh, okay.
Um, and so that's funny. And I think he'll do great on, Tatum Brown, but there's two of them.
Yep.
So, and aside from that, of course, Derek White, like I mentioned before, one of those guys that I feel like has never missed a three in his whole life. Peyton Pritchard. There's just a lot of guys on this team. I feel like they have too many guys. Uh, Cat, I think, kind of feels like the X factor for the series. I don't, Al Horford is old. Porzingis is always injured. I feel like he'll really have to perform well to kind of for the Knicks to have a chance, especially because the Celtics have Drew Holiday and Derek White and a lot of tough defenders to throw in Brunson. So I feel like it has to be a big cat series for them to have a chance, and I don't
Uh,
know if that will happen.
I totally agree with you. I wanted to mention Drew Holiday because he didn't play like the last three games against the Magic. He had an injury, so who knows if we'll see him in game one or game two, or if he'll come out. If Drew Holiday doesn't play initially, does that change for you, or you still think that they're
It's a good question. Uh, yeah, yeah, I think so. I mean, I do value Drew Holiday a lot on the defensive side of the ball, especially. I still don't see Celtics losing either home game the first two games of the series. Like I just feel like it's a 2-0 series right away. Um, I could be wrong, but yeah, I don't. I'm ready for Cavs Celtics. I'm ready for these series to
yeah.
be over.
Yeah, well, I think the reports are that he will be playing at least like game two or three. But yeah, I was just thinking about that with like Brunson especially. Like you have Derek White on him, then Derek White is out. You have Peyton Pritchard on him. I guess that's fine.
You could even put
Def
like a Brad or Tatum on them if you need to.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're very switchable, the Celtics. So except like Al Horford, he's just old.
He gets those speed moving out there when he can.
No, for sure, he does. He's a great player. Let's transition to the West real quick.
Yeah, more
This is
interesting
you.
maybe.
Yeah.
Not Thunder Nuggets though. The Thunder, they're going to go to the conference finals. The way they just absolutely obliterated the Memphis Grizzlies was crazy. And the Nuggets, they had their struggles with the Clippers. I think the Thunder are a lot better team than the Clippers. I know Zubac was a great Jokic defender. I said he would be. He was even better than I thought he would be. I know Jokic had like four triple doubles. Zubac still did a great job. I'll die on that hill. So I don't think Chet or Hartenstein will be nearly as good on Jokic. But I think the others will cause a lot of issues for everyone else in the Nuggets. Jamal Murray had a great series against the Clippers. Will that be the case when Lou Dort is guarding him? I don't know. Casey Wallace, Alex Caruso. They got a lot of guys on that team that can really lock down everyone else that isn't Jokic. And I just feel like the Nuggets don't really have that for the Thunder. Who do you put on Shea? I don't know. Aaron Gordon? Like, is
Yeah.
that your best guy in your starting lineup? Christian Brown, I feel like is not even like he's a good defender. I don't know if he's good enough. Um, yeah, it just feels like an overmatched situation. The Thunder are going to be nice and well rested. The Nuggets are going to be dying. They just played Game 70 yesterday, and I think they play their first game either tomorrow or Tuesday. So they got to bounce right back in pretty quickly.
Yeah. I say Thunder in five.
Yeah, I'll say five. I'll keep my five streak.
Five
Cavs at
streak.
five, Celtics at five, Thunder at
You
five.
want to hear? You want to hear what's really crazy?
Mm,
Thunder and Nuggets play tomorrow.
tomorrow. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, that's a win for the Thunder. They've been chilling for like a month.
Yeah, they might have went to Cancun and back before the series.
Literally. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah. So last we got, I mean, we can't really preview it as well. So we got Timberwolves
hmm
and then Rockets or Warriors. I think if it's Timberwolves Warriors, um, I would pick Timberwolves in like five or six, honestly.
Yeah,
I just don't I think Rudy Gobert, I mean, they're gonna have the same problems that the Lakers had. It's like I think Rudy Gobert's gonna be like, oh, I'm 7 feet tall. It's like, let's do it.
I
Plus,
obviously want the Rockets to win.
Yes.
But the amount of drama in Timberwolves Warriors, Draymond Green, Rudy Gobert,
Oh
it's
yeah.
great stuff.
Yeah, that would be fun. And then Rockets Timberwolves is interesting. I'd probably pick the Timberwolves because I didn't even pick the Rockets initially against the Warriors.
Yeah.
But to me, that's more interesting because it's like the Rockets to me are kind of like the Timberwolves last year,
Hmm.
where it's like, oh, they're going a little bit further than anyone expected, and they're playing this they have young players who like want to prove that they can, you know, keep going forward later in the playoffs. And I don't think the Rockets are there yet. But if they win this series, I mean, anything can happen.
Yeah. Um, if it's Timberwolves Warriors, I'll say Wolves in five, win at home, Minnesota. All four would be 5 games. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Unlikely that happens, but we'll see. I just think, again, like we mentioned for the Lakers, yes, Steph has been awesome for the Warriors, but have fun with Jaden McDaniels, Anthony Edwards, Nikhil Alexander-Walker while you're running around. Good luck. It's going to be tough, and then yeah, Rudy, like the Rockets have been doing with Steven Adams and
Yeah.
Şengün. Rudy will be right there getting rebounds. If he can do what he did, not necessarily to the level that he did game five against the Lakers, but if he's kind of playing like that for the whole series, I really don't think they have a shot.
Yeah.
And Anthony Edwards, I mean, there's no one I can even think of that guards him on the Warriors. Like,
Gary
yes,
Payton the second.
Gary Payton the second is like 6'2".
I know.
They've been assigning him. They assigned him to Fred VanVleet. They put him in the starting lineup in Game Six to guard Fred VanVleet. And Fred VanVleet was going off. So, if you can't guard Fred VanVleet, I don't know about the Anthony Edwards assignment. And Draymond, they could put Draymond on him, but then who? Draymond's like basically their center right now. So I
Yeah.
don't know what they would do about. I mean, they could put Gary on Rudy, I guess. Rudy's gonna eat on the boards though.
For Quentin
Um,
Post, dude. Come on, Quentin Post.
I remember looking at Gary the Payton the second's 2K card a couple years ago, and it was shooting guard slash center, which is hilarious.
That's so funny.
It's how he plays, so I guess it makes sense. Quentin Post also is way too small to be. He's like a center, but he's like not a center. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's it's weird. If it's the Rockets, I'll say Wolves at six. Give my Rockets 2 games.
Yeah.
They are a team I think can match with them physicality wise out there on the court. So I think that would be kind of fun. Yeah,
Also home court advantage.
home court advantage as
Rockets would
well.
have that. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
um, man, if it go, I would love for you to go to a game if it's Timberwolves Rockets. That'd be so sick.
that'd be very cool. We
Wait,
got
would
one today.
I if they end up playing because I'm gonna be in town. I'm going for my dad's birthday, the 18th. If the Rockets go far, we might have to go to a game.
Uh,
Rockets Timberwolves. I don't know if they'll still be playing in like 2 weeks, but we'll
Take out a
see.
personal loan.
For real. We'll take out a personal loan for a LLC called Two Man Game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go.
It's our company.
That'd
I
be
just
funny.
can't wait. I can't wait for game five. I know. So we got game one today, Pacers and
Pacers,
Cavs,
Cavs, yeah,
happening in like an hour,
yeah.
right? Oh no, 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 no. Sorry,
That's at
Seth.
5, I think, right?
Yeah, three my time. Sorry. So it's 2 hours,
Yeah.
and about 2 hours from now. So I won't be watching that as intently. I will try to listen to it, but I'm going to be driving around, running some errands and stuff. So, definitely catching game seven. Nothing's going to stop me from that. So, um, we will break down
Nothing
everything.
will stop me.
Nothing will stop me. Not even God
I
himself.
was like, where's this going?
No, no, no. If he stops me, he stops me. But I'm going to try.
Um,
Anywho. So yeah.
Shout out us for picking the Cavs, Pacers, Celtics, and Knicks, all four correct in the East. Shout out to us for picking Thunder Nuggets. That's 6 of 6. Shout out to me for picking Wolves, and then shout out to you for convincing me that your Lakers were gonna win, and making me wrong. And look, go
So I
listen to the
live
pod.
for.
It
So I
happened
live
on the
for.
pod. You can
It
do it.
happened like live.
Live on the pod. I said Wolves in 7, and then you said Lakers, and I was like, okay.
Ah,
Um, and then I don't want to be right about Rockets Warriors because I picked the Warriors. So if
yeah,
I'm
I'd
wrong
love to be
about that, I'll
wrong.
live.
Yeah,
I'll be okay. It's a win-win. Either the Rockets win and I'm happy, or the Rockets lose and my pick was right. So
I just want
um,
the Rockets to
I
win. I
just
don't
want the
care.
Rockets to win.
I
That's all
just
that
want.
matters.
That's all I
That's all
ever
that
wanted.
matters.
Yeah,
Yeah, honestly, like you said, with round two, games might be happening a little less frequently. Um, because obviously half the teams that were there are no longer there. But I think, interestingly enough, it feels like a lot of, based on the picks we just made, we kind of have an idea what's going to happen here in round two. Like it doesn't feel like it'd be that competitive, which is kind of strange.
Yeah.
Yet we picked all of the round one series, pretty accurately. So, man, we just know our ball, I guess. We're like,
At
let's
this
go.
point,
We're ready for the finals.
yeah, I mean, we've watched it like 3 years straight at this
Wow.
point, you know? I feel like we're just experts at this point. Pay us that ESPN money. Come on, give us that ESPN
Well,
money.
I don't know if we'll go straight to ESPN. If we can start with like one of those random lower tier sports companies so that have their guys.
Come on, lower tier sports companies. Give me that lower tier sports company money. Come
House of
on.
Highlights,
Okay, HOH.
The
Enjoy
Athletic.
basketball. Enjoy basketball. Come on.
Oh, enjoy. We enjoy basketball.
I do too. I do too.
Wow, that's. Hmm.
That's crazy.
Let's enjoy basketball.
Let's, hey, after this, let's go enjoy some basketball.
I'm ready. I'm wrapped up. My enjoyment meter is rising.
I'm going to peak. I'm about to peak on my meter. Anyways, if you made it this far, I just want to say thanks again for listening. We will keep breaking down the playoffs as it goes on. Round two is starting today, and also round one's ending today, which is very interesting.
Yeah, why'd they do that
And
to me?
because they love us, they want us all to have the basketball to enjoy the
I
meter.
wanted to turn my neck to look at my goal, and I can't do it. So,
Hey, you know what? Just look. Hey, just look at the camera. Hey, look at me. You're doing great.
hey, thanks.
Hey, you got this. Oh, I heard that. I heard.
That was
Isn't
too
it a
loud.
fan? Did it hit the fan?
It
Is that
hit the
what it was?
fan. Absolutely.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's fine. Damon took the shot and he missed, and that's fine.
I hit
We
the
still love
fan, and
him.
then I missed.
We love him still. And now we are going to go get ready for watching some basketball.
That's what we do around here. If you don't know, really, I like
Yeah.
basketball.
So once again, thank you for listening. Like, subscribe, share this with all your friends. And this has been Two Man Game with Damon and Dom.
Buckets, Rockets, and seven, baby.